Hey, everybody. Hi, welcome to the Auntie Hour. And today I'd like to welcome Miss April Jones to the show. Miss Jones's life experience deeply reflects our theme for this season, which is perseverance. Welcome to the Auntie Hour, Miss April. And before I forget, the tagline for our show is "This is our time." That's right. So whatever you're doing, whoever's in the room, this is time for us, ladies, to speak and to talk and to bond. How you doing, Miss April? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Auntie Hour. And thank you for agreeing to be a part of this experience. I was introduced to you by my cousin, hi Jen, who told me a little bit about you, and I was like, wow, she sounds like an incredible person. We need her on the Auntie Hour. So let's start with talking about your life experience. We're going to talk about some of the challenges that you faced as a younger person and then move through some of the other things. I really want to spend a little bit of time talking about the domestic violence situation that you survived to help some of our viewers out there who may be going through something similar. So, tell me a little bit about where you grew up and about your life as a child.
Well, I grew up in New Jersey as a foster child. I didn't know my parents at all. And through the foster care system, I seemed like I was limited in whatever I was doing. So, as I grew older, I had a child. And uh, first time college graduate, I graduated, first time college in my family. And it was very hard. It was very hard. It was like I was challenged from from the application to accepting my graduation certificate. It was just so complicated at times, because you was pointed at like you're not gonna make it, like you're not gonna make it,
Mhm,
and it seemed like every time they pointed that you're not gonna make it, I
mhm.
was like, I'm gonna make it. I don't care what they say. And when I tell you it was so excruciating hard when I met your cousin, I was riding my 10-speed bike to school every day because I could not afford to pay car fare, but I was determined to finish college. And it was a challenge because I had just been released from jail and trying to go to college. Oh my God, how is she in here, And then what would kill me was when you do the application for it, it asks, was you, in foster care? I was struck by that, like, why is they asking that? Why is that on the application at all? But I just went past it and persevered and went on with
Mhm.
filling out the application, and I got in. And that was the best thing ever because education was my way out of the foster care system. You know, um, I didn't care what they was like pointing, you're not gonna make it,
Right.
you're just this. And I was like, you got the wrong young lady here. So I was like, I was determined to make it, but I didn't go I went and started college early, stopped because of, family matters. And I had got involved with a gentleman who was abusive to me and didn't want me to go to school.
Ah.
Okay, and I couldn't understand that. Why you don't want us to better things, baby?
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. We know why that happened now, right? Let's back up a little bit. So you entered the foster care system at what age?
Um, at 2 years old, two and a half,
So from the very
from
beginning,
the
you were
very
in the
beginning.
foster care
Yes,
system,
yes.
and you were um, living in different homes, or were you placed in one place? And were you one of the fortunate people that got the opportunity to stay in one home, or I don't know, fortunate is the right word, uh, or were you going to different homes? Because you mentioned your family, so they were members of your family that you were still in contact with while you were in the foster care system.
Well, I came along the family members a little later on because something had happened in one of the care homes with me. So I was in three different ones. Um, and then I went into, a spiral of anger, and I
Mm-hmm.
started fighting and stuff like that. So I was in a disciplinary home at one time, and I
Mm-hmm.
got out of that. But it seemed like once I was trying to go back get my education and stuff, that disciplinary thing hurt me the worst. Not so much, because I was a foster care child, but I was a foster care child with a
What
disciplinary
a
mark
disciplinary.
on me. And
Uh-huh.
that can hold you back the worst. But I was like, nothing's holding me back. And I just kept on going, kept on going. You know,
Right.
um, I started at Glassboro State College and got my associates, and I ended at the College of New Rochelle and with
Right.
my bachelor's degree. And I thought I was putting my degree up here because I'm very excited about it. And I have a few citations because of the work that
Oh,
I do. Yes, I've always been one to try to help people, even though I didn't have anything myself. I don't know why everybody say, "How you helping somebody you ain't got a pot, you know what, and or
right.
throw it out." And I was like, "No, I can help somebody." And it turned out I helped a lot of women, and didn't some I didn't even know I was helping. And I was like, "How am I helping these women?" And like to me, I structured myself. I didn't have the structure, because like I was like in the homes and I took what I needed, but I was a lot of things was going on. It would take a much longer show to go into it.
Right. Right. Right.
But a lot of things was going on, and I could have went either way. I did get into some things, but I had the courage and the will to pull myself out. When
Right.
I seen it wasn't working, I got to go. You
Right.
know,
Let's talk about this gentleman that did not want you to go to college in the first place.
I have
Like,
learned. Yes, don't make me laugh. I have learned some things. I mean, um, I kind of shook when you said it, but I was like young,
hmm
and when you're young, and then here's someone come along. They seem like they got it all together. He was an engineer. He had it all together. He had a job. He had more than me. I was in school. And I was trying and I had a young child. So my thing was I had came dependent on him providing. That's the one that'll get you. Because he provided so well. I was like, I'm not leaving him. And when the abuse started, I kind of overlooked it. Oh well, he's just going through something. I made excuses
right.
on why I was getting knocked around. You know, silly me. But I had to learn, all that looks good ain't good,
hmm
and that's what I found out. He did not want me to go to school. He did not want me to advance because of the fear that I would move away from him because I
Right.
was young and he was older and I didn't see the demographics. I didn't even know what demographics meant then.
Right.
And so I was very naive and I stayed till he beat me and beat me and beat me and would humiliate me in the street. He would do so much
Oh my
and
goodness.
come to the school and you ain't no good.
And
They
when
don't
you were
know.
in college,
I was in college. He would come to the
you
school.
would come up to your
He would
while you
come
were in
up to
school.
the college while I was with the girls because he was like, they don't even know who they with. Like you ain't even on their level, like just to belittle me as much as he
Right.
could. But that browbeat got inside of me. And I was like, well, I never had nobody. Well, maybe it's he right. I started
Right.
like going through it with myself. But I was busting A's in
Right.
college. I had job offers before I even finished college, but I still couldn't see my way that I was acceptable to me. You know,
hmm
I was like trying to satisfy someone that was no satisfaction for him. The satisfaction for him was to beat me down. And as much as I kept coming up, he kept trying to beat me down. And I kept saying, this ain't going to happen. But it
You
took a
know,
while. It took 3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
You mentioned something that seems to be talked about a lot nowadays, and that is the older man and the younger woman, and why older men pursue younger women in the first place. And people seem to think that this is a new topic that people have been talking about. Men that um, they just look for women who are impressionable, who they can mold, who they can control, and in your case, using financial stability or stability a home that you could call your own, knowing your history, knowing that you had been in foster care, taking advantage of your vulnerabilities. This is was his method of controlling you, and well, it didn't work. Clearly, it didn't work.
I'm a free bird. No, it didn't work. But it's funny. It's like they search us out. They search it because it's like once you've been abused, I don't care. They can smell it. I think I really do because after a while, because if they beat you down, your self-esteem down so much, and it's like when you walk outside, it's like all those type of men start coming your way, and I had to just no man at all. No man, get with April, get with me, get with God, and stop being so dependent on somebody else's income. The sugar daddy thing,
Mhm.
and what kills me is like my girlfriends in my college. Oh, girl, yeah, I see you got him. He gives you everything, but behind
Mm.
them closed doors, he was giving me HE double F, and I couldn't tell nobody about that. I
Right,
had to keep that facade that them diamonds was there and that car was
right,
there. I couldn't let them know that man was beating the crap out of me at night and making me do things I didn't want to do. You know, you can't tell that, because it's like social time now. You're in the limelight in school. Nobody knows you're being abused with this man. How you
right.
gonna tell them that? And it was times where he was angry because of his sexuality. He was taking medication and this thing.
Oh.
Okay,
So wait, let's back up. So wait a
okay,
minute.
okay. And he
Wait
was
a
taking
minute.
that out on me.
Oh, so because he could not function,
Mm,
he was angry with you
what me?
and would beat you.
Yes, that's why I wasn't allowed out. I was always, you're looking at somebody's at that school that you seeing and this and that because he had problems. And I mean, I'm young. I don't understand none of that. You know, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
understand. And it wasn't, I never said no. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how to say no because he just kept on giving me things I never had. I was a foster child.
Right.
I was wearing shoes that was too small for me. Okay. I got 10 corns. But that's another story. But I'm
Right.
like, he provided shoes that fit, flashy clothes. At that time, it was like the bamboo earrings with your name in them. I had to have them. I
Right.
was young. But the price I paid, mm, I was isolated from family.
Mm.
That's one of the first things they start doing, the isolation part. You don't even notice it, you
Right.
know. And then it's like he got you all to yourself, slap when he want, punch when he want. But when he gets to the kicking part, it's time to get going.
Right. So what was the true final wake up call for you with that situation? When did you say, you know what? Peace, peace out. I'm leaving.
Well, the final thing was I came home and he had someone else in the house in our bed. And I came in nicely, you know, and I'm like, Why is this? Like, what's going on? You need to go in the room and be quiet. Because he was going to do that with me right there in the apartment. That was the last straw. I felt no worth. For
Right.
you to put that in my face like that, I already was being beat down, like couldn't go out timed when I came home from school or if I was working. And when I seen that, I just snapped. I really snapped. And I was like, you know
Wow.
what? It's not happening today. And I chased both of them out the house. And he called the police.
He called the police on you.
And that was the first time ever I had any kind of police running. He called the police on me. And as it was, because I never reported any abuse, I
Right.
went to jail.
You went, what?
I was arrested for menacing assault and what was it, menacing assault and disorderly conduct. And yeah, I was arrested. But he came and got me. He came and got me. But I was arrested. And that taught me a lesson. That's when I said, no more of this. And I started really looking into how much I was involved in a domestic violence relationship and being violence every day, not even realizing through the mental, through the physical, mental, and every which way you could think it was there. Even with my preference of what we did in our bedroom, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. No, you're going to do it, you know. And I never said nothing the whole time until he had me arrested. And when I came out, I had to go back there. He came
Right.
and got me, but I made a plan. And this is what I tell my women friends now that are
Yes,
make a
please.
plan. Get your bag together. That's what I call it. Get your little clothes in, your little toiletry, your little change. Get your
Hmm.
bag together, because when that day come, you know it's it. You're out that door. And it
Right.
doesn't matter. You'll take EAU, you'll take the emergency assistance programs. Do what you got to do, but get away from it. Because, like, I look at myself, I see the scars on my face, my teeth. I didn't want to do interviews and stuff because my teeth were knocked out. You know, um, I was ashamed of my facial looks. I was ashamed of myself.
Right.
And then I was like, I ain't got to be ashamed of this. He
Right.
needs to be
He,
ashamed.
he should be
I
right.
had to flip that feeling because I was feeling bad. I was feeling worthless. I didn't think nobody would want me. Right now, I don't even care. I'm into my own thing and I'm
Exactly.
loving it. I'm loving the
You're
freedom of being able to walk in and out my door. I don't care when, what time, what hour.
right.
I'm able to study freely. He would interfere with that. I wrote a book and at the time I was writing it, he was interfering. He did not like the idea. I wanted to advance. That
Right.
wasn't, and then he stopped, it it was just something.
You stunned me. I couldn't even speak after you said that you were arrested.
Yeah,
I really was stunned silent. I don't know if you noticed that.
yes,
That was a little bit much. So
yes,
so the first step you say is make a plan. If
right.
you're in this type of situation where you're in a domestic violence situation, make a plan is step one. What would you say would be the next thing? Because, like you said, a lot of times these abusers don't want you to work, they don't want you to advance. So, if you make an attempt to do that, what ends up happening is that you end up getting beat worse when you try to do better for yourself. What would you say is a safe way for a woman to try to get out of this type of situation without getting hurt or killed, even?
It's not easy. It's very hard. But like I said, make a bag, right? And how you do that is when he's at work, you start making your bag. It's a little carry tote bag. Okay. If you have children, you have them make their little bag and you have it in the back of the closet. And when that day comes, after you just know you can't take no more, you walk out that door with them bags and you keep on going and you don't look back. There's so many services right now that help women. Back in the day, it wasn't as many services. Now they have little codes. You can go into certain bars and put up and say certain words to the bartenders, and they'll get you help. It wasn't like it was back then when I was
Right.
like in the 80s and 90s. We
Right.
didn't have help. We sat there and we went through it because we had our children. We only had one child, but I didn't want my child to go through nothing. I didn't want to be homeless.
Hmm.
When I said I didn't care about exactly, long as I made it, long as me and my child was whole and living, because I didn't want it to spill off onto my child. She was a girl child. Girl children shouldn't see that because then they'll think if they get comfortable with it, and then when their men come along, when their time, they think it's okay. I didn't want that for my baby.
And
So,
boy children think that that's how they're supposed to interact with women when they see it.
yes. So it's like a lot of people can be affected by it if you don't make kind of positive moves. I'm proud that I made that move today. I packed that bag, and after I came out of jail, and then we had one more run-in after that, and I fought back, and it was funny because he was like,
Wow, the
oh,
tape turn.
to my shock, I was like, oh, you must have been abused when you was a kid. Then I,
Uh-huh.
some more. Then I left. But that time I didn't go to jail. I
Right.
had to get my lick in. But and I'm
Oh,
not
we
gonna
laughing about
say,
it. Yeah, I'm glad that you did. If that
yes,
brought you some peace.
yes. And I had to get some peace. So I went to the EAU. I was in the shelter.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to start all over again, in the shelter with nothing, sitting in green chairs. But it was okay. I had a bag, I had a chair, I had my child, I had my sanity. That was so much to me. And through that, I started meeting people that was going through the same thing. And the silence of it all, I'll tell anybody that's going through it, don't be silent. Get somebody, tell somebody that you trust, because you might not have the strength yourself. They might can pull you and get
Right.
you out of it. And that's what happened with me. I found people and I left. I had the courage to leave because it's hard to leave. Your
Yeah.
money be good, rent paid, you ain't got to worry about it. You got the
Right.
car, you ain't worrying about it. It's easy to fall into it, hard to get out.
Right.
So that bag is like a refuge. If you got that bag packed, I don't care. Grab it and run as fast as you can. Get away, you know? And that's what I did. And I'm glad I did because look at me, child. Ooh.
Look at you. That's right. Look at you.
At
So,
59, I
ooh.
feel truly blessed, you know. And,
Right.
I don't do a lot of smiling. Like I said, my teeth is messed up and then I'm scared of dentists. I can get them fixed. But it's okay today. I'm still here. And all I can say is if you're in an abusive relationship, if you're young, it's too much life out here to go through that. Get
Yes.
your bag together. Okay, get that
Mm-hmm.
bag ready.
Y'all
Because
hear
it
that?
takes
Get
it.
that
Get
bag.
that bag ready.
Let me
Child.
ask you. So, you finished school.
Hmm.
What did you end up doing? What did you study?
Well, I study psychology. Because see, I want to know what make these, tick. I wanted to know, honey. And, I wanted to know how I could reach more people, because I have a funny way about me. A lot of people on site, oh my God, I get it. I catch it. But then I have a way of, I needed to know how to communicate. I was a
Mhm.
mess. But I'm glad that, through my trials and tribulations, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about integrity, friendship. You're not gonna come along people that's always gonna be like really good for your lifestyle or
Mhm.
your life period. I had to learn how to differentiate people in my life and allowing who gets close and who don't. Because once people see that you've been abused or in child care, you're a target to some people because they feel so
Mhm.
you're weak you're going to just comply. I'm not the compliant person today. You know,
Right.
I like my life today. I like my freedom. and I love me today. You can't just put something in my face and say trash. No,
Right.
I'm gonna I'm gonna analyze it. I'm gonna find out, more about it, even with people. You got to find out more. Surface is not all, especially with these men. They say wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what they are.
That's what it is. So
Mhm.
you are a psychologist. What do you do in that field?
Psychology. Right. Teacher.
You're
Okay, I teach. I'm in between classrooms, I teach. I'm a science teacher. I teach just about anything. I'm a writer, poet, um, grandmother, great grandmother,
you a great grandma?
a great grandmother 3 times. Ooh, yes. And
Wow.
yeah. And right now, I don't know. My energy is helping a lot of other people. I'm helping people. I don't know how it just they believe me, I go outside to my car sometimes. I got people walking, Miss April. You think you can help me do this or refer me for this? I don't half the people on this block got jobs through me. And I'm okay with that. You know, um, so right now I'm in between.
You're in between, yeah.
Yeah, I'm writing. I'm still making. I'm in the middle of a book. You know,
Oh, so
yeah,
speaking of book, tell us about the first book that you wrote.
a for real experience. Not my best work, but it was my first work.
Right.
Okay, I don't care what it is in life you want to do. Try it. And that's what I said when I was last time I write a book. I'm gonna be in a play. I've been in a play. I was in
Okay.
I was in The Wiz in Harlem. I was in Marcus Garvey. I've written my book, A For Real Experience.
Can
And
people
these are
find it? Can
yes,
people
you can
buy it?
find it on Amazon,
Okay.
um uh
Real experience.
Barnes and Noble, uh
Okay.
FA FAA Real Experience.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Uh-huh.
A real
Yeah.
experience.
And I wrote it because of the abuse and the jail time I did. I went to jail, for assault. I got it cleaned up though, yo. I got it
You
expunged.
got it.
But
But
yeah, but that them little incidents and see I didn't know then. He knew what he was doing for my career to have me arrested. Any type of arrest can harm you getting the perfect job. So
hmm
I have to really admit that by me being arrested, then it's hurt me getting jobs. But I did 11 years with the Public Defender's Office. I did 9 years with the City of New York with Department of DCAS, Department of Citywide Administrative Services. Right
hmm
now, I'm also a ADA monitor with the Board of Elections. I help with the elections every year. Right now in a project called Wheels Rolling to Educate. Is a tutoring program that I'm hoping to get on board through the CEC, and we'll be going around to different neighborhoods that is needy to where a lot of people that's transient and all are coming
hmm
in and they need the extra help tutoring, a tutoring program that'll be mobile, and I'm working on that now. So really like working, I do freelance working, but I'm working on these projects in my new book, Inside the Wrong Shoes. And yeah, and it's basically about abuse, being in a child care system, being abused in there. I was abused as well in the child care system. But how you don't let it affect your whole being.
Right.
How you could still come out of all of that and be somebody. What you want to be. Do what you want to do. Like now I'm traveling. Something I never did. I'm
Right.
doing things that I didn't do, you know. And when they say, what do you do professionally? Professionally, I'm a liaison to my people, to my community. They can knock on my door and need anything, and I'm going to find it. I'm going to get it. I used to be the locator. If, if I ain't got it, I'm gonna locate it. We
You'll
gonna get
find
it.
it.
That's
hmm
right. And I'm grateful to be able, to my God. I'm so grateful to my God to be able to help other women and men. I have a guy friend, I won't say his name, but he's beautiful. And he was abused. He was being abused by his girlfriend. I wanted to jack her up myself, but I was like, I can't touch nobody else. I ain't going.
I think that that's really important that you
Yeah.
mention that because
Yes.
people don't think that
Hmm.
women are abusive to men.
Oh, very.
And men are ashamed also to come forward because of the way society says men aren't supposed to be getting abused and they are supposed to be able to do better for themselves. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you mentioned that and that you're helping him.
Yeah. He is so sweet. And I'm like, how can anybody abuse him? And it kills me because we used to say back in the day, the good man always get the bad woman, and the bad woman always get the good man. And I
Hmm.
see it more and more with domestic violence people. So I don't have like a 9 to 5, but I have a 24/7. Okay, because I'm 24/7. They call me at all hours of the night, and I'll answer and talk to them and even jump in my car, drive where they at, and we go have coffee. I have done that. I have went into the mouth of it with the man sitting right there and the woman scared. I sit right there, right between them, and we
Right.
talk. I just had a situation like that a couple of weeks ago. They just got married. Like it seemed like 6 to 8 months after the marriage, you find out who's true.
Who the person is,
Hmm.
yes.
And he started the abusive stuff. So I went and I had to talk with them both, and they're in counseling today. So that's good. If I can get you into counseling or separate you, one or the other, it's got to happen because abuse is not warranted. If you got to abuse them, leave them. Leave
Hmm.
them. Just leave them alone. That's not love. Abuse is not love.
It sure
Yeah.
isn't. But it can feel like it.
Child, yeah, it was so good at one time.
They will,
Yeah.
people, I've been in situations where I've had people try to justify mistreating me as if it were for my own good and that I needed that help. Um, I've been in situations like that, and sometimes that's how people present it.
Hmm.
If you don't know any better, and like you said, they usually get you when you're younger or vulnerable. Sometimes as older people, we are in situations that leave us vulnerable. And when we're vulnerable, somebody can slip in there at the right moment and just throw you completely off base,
Hmm.
throw you all off track.
Well, I see that lonely people fall into that trap too. Okay. Um, Try to get with yourself, you know, because like I could be in a house all day long by me being a writer, and you see, I have an extensive library. I like to read. Find you another peeve, to get yourself involved in,
Hmm.
because loneliness can get you in trouble.
So let's lighten it up a little bit. What do you like to do in your spare time for fun? What do you do for fun? You said you've been traveling. Where have you been?
Well, there's a few places. Like, I like gambling. I'm a casino person. So Lang City, I go to the casinos, been to the Poconos. We went to Florida. There's a few things, places I never went. Because
Hmm.
like when you have foster care and all you got is that 4x5 room or whatever, or you got 50 other kids in the room that's dealing that's just it's a big thing. You have nothing. You're waiting for something. So when you do little things, it's a big thing.
Right,
So just being able to have my freedom, have a car,
right,
a
right.
is something for someone that came from nothing at all.
Yes,
Everything I had to get it from somebody. Okay. And it didn't matter what it was. A
right,
shoe, a comb, deodorant, soap. I had to get it from somebody. I had nothing. I was a child. And then I
right,
came up as a child. And then once you're being abused in them places. Don't think it's all sweet. I don't care. Okay. I try not to put a lot of dirt in that direction because
right,
we need that service, but that
right.
service need to be revamped. It's a lot going on in that foster care
Foster
system,
care.
and then you can't blame it on genealogy. You have to blame it on the circumstances the child is growing up in, how that child gonna come out. Well, my circumstances was determination. I was determined they wasn't gonna break me. You know, those with that type of attitude will make it. You know.
I'm glad that you made it. I'm glad that we had a chance to meet
Yes.
and had a chance to speak. And I thank you for spending some time with me today.
Thank you, Joanna.
And I really hope that if there's someone out there that is in the midst of a domestic violence situation, that you get the help that you need.
Mhm.
And perhaps you could reach out to us here. You know, Miss April done says she's 24/7.
24/7.
You can reach out to
That's
us
right.
here at the Auntie Hour, Auntie Hour at jwlmedia.com. Miss April, you have any contact information you want to share with the audience?
Well, you can reach out with me at the rhythm59 at gmail.com. Okay. Hashtag rhythm. On Facebook. On what's that? I don't really like all those platforms.
Right.
TikTok. I know TikTok. What's the other one? It's one of them. But I'm out there. Okay, and you can find me. Trust me, people walk up to me I don't even know. I'll be like, okay, you found out about me from who? Okay. So I'm just Miss Jones. I'm out here. They call me Rhythm.
They
I'm a
call you
poet.
gonna put you on the spot then. You need to drop a poem for us now.
Oh no, no, check this out. I'm gonna throw one real quick. If your feet could talk, if your feet could speak about the places you've been and the people you meet, you could tell a true story so real and unique. If your feet could just speak. Hey,
All right. Thank you so much, Miss
you're
April.
welcome. You're welcome.
Bye bye.
Bye.
You can reach the New York City Domestic Abuse Hotline at 800 799 7233.